What is up, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a gimbal from Hohem, which is this bad boy right here. This is the box it comes in. Comes in a really nice box. As you can see, you got a picture of the gimbal right here in the front. And if we flip it around to the back, it pretty much tells you everything that comes inside the box and everything. But as you can see, there's a wide variety of different cameras that you can use on this thing. So you're going to be able to use your mirrorless camera, your compact camera, and also your smartphone and your action camera. So if you own a GoPro and if you have an iPhone or a Samsung phone, you're going to be able to use it on here. And if you're a content creator, this is a must-have because this is like having your own personal cameraman. This thing is going to be able to track every move that you make. Like if you're doing a video and you're like moving over here, it's basically going to follow you, pretty much wherever you go. And this thing will literally do a 360. Like I was playing around with it last weekend, and I put it on a like a park bench table, and I literally walked around the table and it just followed me. So yeah, this thing is pretty awesome. So again, if you're a content creator, this is a must-have. You're going to want to pick this thing up. This gimbal pretty much does what no other gimbal does. So I'm excited about this gimbal. I hope you guys are excited. You need to be excited because this thing is awesome. So yeah, guys, let's go ahead and get into the video. We're gonna go ahead and open up this box, and I'm gonna show you everything that comes inside the box. Alrighty, guys, so as soon as you open the case, as you notice, everything is pretty much organized. It's got a pocket for every accessory. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with this pocket right here on the top. So, almost fell. So what you get in the top pocket is you get your user's manual, which I recommend that you read because it's going to give you a lot of good information on how to operate the gimbal. So make sure you read this. And right here you get a bag with all your cables. These are the cables that you're going to use to charge the gimbal and connect your camera. Pretty much whatever camera you're going to be using, these cables to connect to the gimbal, so your camera or the gimbal can communicate with your camera. And up here on the other section, you get your tripod. This is your tripod stand for the gimbal, which is pretty small. I recommend that you use one from one of your other gimbals if you own another gimbal. I actually own 2 more gimbals, so the other one that I have is actually longer, so it's gonna be a lot better. So, and it's pretty much backwards compatible with whatever gimbal because it's all quarter 20 thread to attach it to the gimbal. So it would be pretty much the same thing with every gimbal. And right here you get your this is going to be your mount for your action camera. So you can use this to mount your GoPro or pretty much whatever action camera that you're going to be using. And if you already own one of these, you don't need to use this. You can actually use your existing one. And they actually give you a quarter 20 screw. So if you lose the one that's on the or the one that they actually give you, you got 2 of them. So if you lose one, you got an extra. And right here, this is what you're going to use to mount your cell phone. And it's got an Arca Swiss plate at the bottom. It's actually together or combined together, so it doesn't come off, which is good. So you don't have to actually mount this to an Arca Swiss plate to mount it to the gimbal. It's already on there, which makes it really easy and convenient. So that's pretty much it for these 2 front sections. Actually, there's one more thing in here. I'm sorry. Okay, I can get it out. Okay, so they give you an Arca Swiss plate. This is your Arca Swiss quick release. So this is what you're going to use to mount your camera to the gimbal. then inside here, this is the actual gimbal right here. I like this bag. Everything is pretty organized, so everything's not going to be basically moving around in the bag. Everything is pretty much strapped down. Like the gimbal right now is strapped down with these Velcro straps, which is pretty cool. So as you can see, this is the gimbal right here. It's pretty small and it doesn't weigh that much. It's pretty light too, which is pretty cool. But the build quality feels really good. It doesn't feel cheap or anything. It's got some really nice, comfortable plastic. It feels good on the hands, and looks to be plastic and aluminum alloy, and pretty strong too, pretty durable. Does not feel cheap at all. So let's go ahead and mount this to the base, the tripod base. Yeah, so as you can see, it's pretty, the base is pretty short. I would have liked it to be just slightly a little bit longer, but then again, if you own other gimbals, because I know the Zoom crane and the Weeble S has a longer tripod, so I'm going to be pretty much using that one. So let me go ahead and put this to the side for now. And there's one more thing in here. This is actually, this is your L bracket. This is what you're going to use to mount pretty much everything to the gimbal. So this is very important. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Yeah, that's pretty much it for what's inside the case. Again, this is a pretty nice case that they give you that pretty much comes with the gimbal. Basically, it pretty much keeps everything organized inside of the bag, so you don't have anything flopping around. And as you can see right here, everything where the gimbal goes is pretty much strapped down with a Velcro strap, which is really good. So let me go ahead and put this to the side for now. The gimbal's pretty much folded up right now. So right here in the front, you got your OLED screen, got the power button right here. This is the USB-C charging port right there where you're going to charge the gimbal. And then right here in the front too, you got a 1/4 thread, so you can actually attach a handle here that's pretty much sold separately, or you can use it for something else, you know, if you want to use that to attach a light or something. And then over here in the front where the LCD screen is, this is your focus wheel right here. So if you have a camera that is compatible with this, you would actually use one of the cables that they provided to connect your camera to the gimbal, and you can actually do focus from here. And this is also the what do you call that, the let's call it a shutter button, or the button, you know, the button that you would press to press record and stop record would be like right here, you know. And it's got a little joystick right here, very small, but you know, very convenient. And what I do like about this thing is the handle area right here. There's no buttons on the hand, on this area right here. There's no buttons on the handle, so you're not going to accidentally, you know, press something, you know. And everything has good placement, you know, the joystick, the all the buttons and everything is pretty much in the right place, so you're not going to accidentally hit anything on accident. And then right here you have this little wheel which does a lot of things. Right now everything is pretty much folded up, so in order to unfold it, you gotta release these locks right here. Every axis has a lock, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now so I can show you guys. So now you can pretty much move everything, as you can see. So let me go ahead and lock this back into place again. Okay, so everything is pretty much locked in place. So let me turn it to the front here. And this little thing right here, this is actually the AI sensor right here, and this is also a light too. It's also a fill light, and you can also do RGB on this thing. And as you can see, it's magnetized right there, so it basically clicks on with a magnet, and it pretty much stays in place too. It doesn't move around. It's not going to fall off. It's pretty secure, so you don't have to worry about this thing falling off. So yeah, let's go ahead and unlock each axis, and I'm going to go ahead and throw a camera on there. So the camera that I'm going to be using is the Canon R6 Mark II, and I've got the RF 16mm lens on here with a lens hood and everything. So this is the Canon R6 Mark II, and we're going to be using the 16mm. So the weight on this thing, I actually wrote it down here. So with the Canon R6 Mark II, you're looking at 672 grams. So that's with no lens on here, I believe. Yeah, no lens cap or nothing. So pretty much everything off, just bare camera with the cap off. It's going to be 672 grams, which is 1.48 pounds, which is pretty light for a mirrorless camera. And on the gimbal, the maximum payload that you can actually put on here is 2.64 pounds. So you can't really exceed that. You don't really want to go past that or close to it. You know, you want to stay like about 2.4 pounds and you should be fine. And it's pretty much limited on the lenses that you can use, because in order for it to work, you need to have a lens that's less than a pound, which is pretty hard, you know. I don't really have that many lenses that are less than a pound, because I mostly use Canon L lenses, and I've got some Sigma lenses, and they're pretty massive, they're pretty heavy, so they're not going to work on here. So I'm only limited to this lens right here, which is the Canon RF 16mm lens right now for the time being. And I've got the Nifty 50 here, the 50mm 1.8. This is the RF version. I can also use this too. 50mm focal length is not really good for video. I don't really like that for video. I pretty much prefer a wide angle lens, you know, like the 16mm and possibly a 24mm. They actually make an RF 24mm, but the only thing, it's a macro lens. That's not really going to work very good for video, because macro lenses, especially the RF ones, tend to be really laggy when it comes to autofocus. But for photography in general, they're awesome, you know, but for video, not so good. So I was had my eyes on the RF 28mm, which is a very inexpensive lens, and I've heard a lot of good things about it, that lens. So I was thinking of picking that one up and using that one. That one would be perfect for video. So again, I have it written down right here. So if I was to put the Canon RF 16mm on here, the 16mm lens by itself weighs 180 grams, which is 0.40 pounds. So together with the Canon R6 Mark II and the RF 16mm lens, we are looking at 1.88 pounds. So well below the payload, the maximum payload. So this works pretty good. And I do own the Canon RF 14-35 f4L lens, and I tried to balance that one on here and it doesn't work. That thing is too heavy. So, and that actually came out together with the Canon R6 Mark II with the RF 14-35 was 2.82 pounds, and the lens was too long in the front, so I wasn't able to balance it on here. There's no way, because the clearance was not going to be right, so I wouldn't be able to use it. So it was a bummer, you know, because that's a perfect lens, you know, as far as the focal lengths and everything for video, but it wasn't going to work, so it is what it is. So yeah, let's go ahead and try to get this mounted on here so I can show you guys. So first things first, we want to attach the Arca Swiss plate. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, I'm not going to really tighten it down because this is just for show only. So the next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and attach the L bracket. Oops, actually goes, no, it doesn't go that way either. So hold on. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention too, they actually give you a little magnetic screwdriver which attaches right there on the L bracket, so you can just pull that off. And the reason why they gave you that, because on the bottom here you got to loosen these 2 bolts so you can pretty much adjust it to fit your, you know, whatever device you're going to be using, whatever camera you're going to be using. And as you can see, it just pretty much slides now. So let me get this on real quick so I can show you guys. So yeah, it pretty much slides on there, very easy. So we're just gonna tighten it down just a little bit. We're not gonna try to center it or anything, because we got to put this on the camera in order to balance it, which is not going to take very long. And that's a good thing about this gimbal. Balancing this gimbal is a breeze. It doesn't take very long. It takes only a matter of minutes to balance it. So whatever device you're going to be using, you're going to be up and running in no time. So we got the L bracket on there. So this is how it looks. The only thing is, once this L bracket is on here, you can't access your SD cards on the side, but you can change, no, actually you can't change the battery out or anything. So you'd actually have to take this whole thing off in order to get your SD card and your battery. So that's a bummer, but it's not really a deal breaker, not really a big deal, because of what this gimbal does. It pretty much is not a big deal. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and lock these like that, and we're gonna go ahead and slide the camera on here. So basically what you want to do is you want to put the camera facing front like this. Where the sensor is where you want to have your lens pointed in the same direction. So we're gonna go ahead and slide this bad boy on here. Okay. Oops, I did not get it on there right. Okay, now it's on there right. So we're just going to tighten it down right here in the front. So as you can see, it's pretty much falling to the front. So pretty much when you balance this thing, you want to take your you pretty much want to take this thing off, the cover to the lens. And you pretty much want to leave everything that you're going to be using on the camera. You know, you want to get your SD cards in there, your battery in there, your ND filter, you know, your lens hood and everything, because once you balance it, you can't really add anything because it's going to put it off balance, and then you're just going to have to start all over again. So what we're going to do now, because this is falling forward like that, it needs to stay like this. So first thing we're going to do is unloosen this latch right here, and we're just going to slide it back until it stays in place. Okay, so for now, that's good for now. We're gonna have to readjust it again, so it really doesn't matter. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna balance this right here, so I need to stand up for this. So we just want to loosen this latch right here, and this is basically gonna allow us to slide this forward and back. And what I'm trying to do is I want to have this to where it's facing straight up, to where it's not falling forward or in the other direction or anything like that. So we're just going to keep sliding it. Okay, getting close. Okay, so that's pretty much going to work right there. It's pretty much staying in place, as you can see. So we'll go ahead and tighten that latch up. Okay, so it's going to stay in place. So we'll go back to here, and we're going to have to readjust this. As you can see, it's falling back a little bit, so we want this to go a little bit forward. So we're going to go ahead and make a little bit, some minor adjustments. Okay, that seems to be good. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect or anything. I mean, if you can get it really perfect, it's gonna help you to have a longer battery life. Again, this thing on a full charge will give you up to 17 hours of battery life, so you can pretty much use this gimbal all day. You know, you can shoot with it all day. I actually used it one day for I think about 5 hours, and it only went down like 1 or 2 bars, you know. I don't remember, but I know it wasn't much. Okay, so seems to be pretty balanced right there. So the next axis we're gonna balance is this one right here, which is I think it's the roll axis is what it's called. The one that we just adjusted was the tilt axis. So as you can see, it's falling to the side, so we're gonna loosen up this right here. Let me show you. If I flip it around, see that latch right there, this one right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide that. So we're gonna just slide it to the right. Okay, that appears to be good right there. Okay, that's definitely gonna work there. So we got to do one more axis, which is the pan axis. So what you want to do is you just want to get it on its side right here. Go ahead and unlock that. See how it's falling down like that? We want it to stay like this right here, just like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loosen up this latch right here, this one right here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep sliding this over until it stays in place. Almost there. Oh, not gonna work. Okay, so as you can see, it's staying in place now. So that's gonna work right there. That's pretty good. Actually, let me double check that, make sure. Yep, that is definitely gonna work. All right, guys, so the gimbal is pretty much balanced now. So before I turn it on, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and release every axis, which is 3 of them. Make sure you tighten down the axis, because if not, that would have been really bad. Okay, so there we go, we are good. It's staying in place, so that is definitely balanced. So let's go ahead and release all the axis, which is 3 of them. So we got that one, and we got the tilt. So this will pretty much stay whatever position I put it in. So it's pretty good. Okay, that's pretty balanced. So let's go ahead and power this on. Okay, so you're gonna hear like a little chime, And what I usually like to do is I usually like to calibrate it right away. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna hit this this trigger right here in the front. You're gonna double tap it. Okay, and it's basically gonna center the camera. Okay, so that was done. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press the mode button 5 times, and we're gonna go ahead and calibrate it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's gonna do the chime, and it's calibrating right now. Okay, so when you heard that chime again, that means it's done calibrating and everything is pretty much balanced. So as you can see, it's pretty balanced. It's perfect. Okay, so let's play around with the AI sensor. So what you want to do is you want to turn it on. So there's a little switch here at the top. I'm going to go ahead and hit that switch. Okay, so there should be a light on there. Let's check. Yep, it's a red light. So the AI sensor is on. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna triple tap the trigger because I want the camera to actually face me. So I'm gonna do 1, 2, and 3. Actually, you gotta press it, all 3 of them at the same time. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Okay, so now it's facing me. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make a symbol. Actually, let me move this forward so you guys can actually see it better. So I'm gonna make a hand gesture, and it's gonna activate the AI sensor. So this is the one I'm gonna do is this. This is basically gonna tell it to. Okay, so now every time I move, as you can see, the camera moves with me, moves in the direction that I go. So if I stand up, I go down, I go this way, it's going to pretty much go in any direction that I go. And to stop it, you just want to put your hand up like this. And it just turned red now, so now it's stopped. So yeah, I'm going to do a actual video on that, you know. So I'm going to do a video on basically balancing a mirrorless camera, a cell phone, and an action camera. So that's going to be a totally different video, guys. I just wanted to pretty much go over the basics with this thing. So and I'm also going to do another video, or basically that video is going to be pretty much using the AI tracker and using the features on the gimbal and everything like that, and as far as the app and all the buttons on here and everything. So we'll basically go over all of that. So what I'm going to do, 1, 2, 3, and the camera's going to turn around again. And then as you can see, the camera is not balanced, or it's kind of like out of whack right now. It's kind of like tilted to the side and kind of moved to the left a little bit. So in order to fix that, you're going to double tap the trigger. 1, 2. And as you can see, the camera just pretty much straightened out and everything, so it's all good. And let me tell you guys, this thing is very, very, very smooth. Very smooth. This is like the best gimbal I've ever used. And I own 2 other gimbals, and they're nothing like this. This thing's amazing. The footage that you're gonna get out of this thing is it's amazing, man. And it's not heavy. It's not gonna put a strain on you or anything. You can literally use this thing for vlogging. This thing is like so, you know, so perfect. I can't find any flaws with this thing. The only con that I have with this gimbal is it's limited on the lenses that you can use. But I'm pretty sure that Hohem, the next one they come out with, we're going to be able to it's going to be able to support higher payload. You know, if they can get it up to like 4 pounds, that would be awesome. So yeah, that pretty much wraps this video up. If you guys have any questions about this gimbal, comment down below and I'll be sure to get you back. And yes, I will be doing another video on this gimbal, going over the features and everything, and basically what you can do with this gimbal. And I also have some accessories too that I want to show you guys for this gimbal. So I will be doing a video on that as well. So don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload my next video. And if you guys found this video helpful, please smash that like button. And if you want to help my channel out, subscribe to my channel. And yes, I will see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.